what's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to La Vecchia Signora. And we've got Juve and City going at it today to top the group. We've got a bunch in the news to discuss. And here to tackle it all, we got Luca, Mas, and Omer. Omer, how you doing, brother?
Oh, phenomenal as usual. I'm great. Nice to see everyone. Hope you had a good time in Philly, meeting everyone. I'm sure everyone saw the photos. So yeah, super jealous of you, but pumped as
Yeah,
always.
we were missing everybody in the team, but the ones that were there, like Mas, everything back to normal now, everything good, situated again. Missing those cheesesteaks, I bet.
That lobster one we had there was pretty phenomenal, I must say. But
Wow.
It
Wow.
yeah, I
was.
mean, I didn't have as good a time as you guys did because I had my kid with me. But yeah, it was amazing, man. We're back. We got a big game today, so let's get it rolling.
Let's get it rolling. Yeah, Luca. So we had actually so Mas's kid is named Luca as well. So we come up with a
What an
nice little
honor.
nickname for him. We had a great time. It was awesome having him around. The pink pony is well and strong there. Luca Natale now. Luca Christmas, our very own. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. It's an honor to be back from my hiatus. I'm glad to be here.
Oh man. Tuna, paying homage to the pink pony Luca from Philly there. No, we had a blast. Philly was a lot of fun. Um, for everybody that watched the race that went down at the Rocky Steps there, yes, Lewis taking the victory. Sev
No.
wanted to probably pull up as quick as possible. Trim thought he had won it, threw his arms up in the air, and realized that there was still a whole nother set of steps towards the end there, and that's where it got away from him. But yeah, Lou coming up big, and a lot of
So
smack
fair.
talk there. And these guys, I'm like, take it easy, boys. I'm 41 in 2 days, and I got one ACL. But hey, I still beat Sev, and I still beat Trim. So, day, boys,
I
day.
have
Now, Philly was a blast. The team watching them play that game was awesome. I gotta say, massive, massive respect to the Moroccan fans. Wydad fans were intense. Um, we were talking to L'Arbitro Nick, our friend who is actually working for FIFA throughout the Club World Cup, and he said that two of those massive stadium garbage bins that if you've ever seen them, they're like up to my chin, they're huge. They had two of those filled with flares that they confiscated from the Moroccan fans, and they still had enough in the stadium to do what they did, which was when Wydad scored their goal, they obviously lit them all and they smoked out the stadium. It had to be delayed for a bit because the players couldn't play. Good on them though; they were awesome. They were loud and proud the entire time, and it was good for us. The curva was alive and well, Mas. Our curva was alive and well, but we needed more help from the side sectors because Juve had more fans there than Wydad, but I needed more from everyone around the sides. But our curva was loud and proud, and we got rewarded with Yildiz going off, man. What a game from that kid. He's phenomenal. And now through this Club World Cup, finally starting to get some proper attention, maybe. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about all this. We got to get to the news first. We got some sales that everybody's looking to make in here for Juve, and it involves a couple guys, and everybody's got their certain feelings on it. First up, you guys, my bad. What's up, everybody? Ciao, Apex. Ciao, Coqui. Ciao, Adam Khan. Ciao, everybody in the army. You guys are the best. Drop a like here. There is more content coming out around what went down in Philadelphia. We're having a lot of fun. But you guys, Wea Imbangula. 23 million euros for the sales. Right now, it sounds like Wea is the one holding things up as he does not want to leave. I probably can't blame him, but what are your thoughts on that sale when it first came up and how quick we are actually trying to go with it? Now, the news around it is that Juve wanted 30 million for both players. They're willing to take around 23 because they want it for the budget and they want to keep things rolling. Luca, your thoughts on selling Weah and Imbangula at 23 million? Your thoughts on selling them in general? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to the sales. Like, I like them both. I see merit in them both. Even if they stayed, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I kind of knew as of last season, kind of near towards the end, that Bangula was going to go at one point for some sort of gain, because on the books he's probably worth nothing. And Weah, after Mata left, his ranking fell a bit with Tudor. So I kind of saw that coming as well. Because again, on the books, I think Weah cost us like 5 mil or something. So I'm not against the sales. I'm against the prices right now. Like, I really dislike how we're being treated. Like, someone said it the other day on the feed, it's like, we never get discounts, but the minute people are buying from us, we're like bending over and giving people like 50% off on our players. So I don't love it. I think just Bangula alone should be worth over 10, maybe 15. So together for 20, like, what are we even talking about? If they could jack up the price, I'm all for it, because it moves us forward for other transfers that we're looking at. But yeah, I'm not loving the price. That's my only verdict on this.
Yeah. And Mas, your thoughts on this deal?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Luca to an extent in terms of the money we're getting back. I mean, you got to remember with Mbangula, he had a strong start to the season. The kid was on fire, right? But then he kind of tailed off, and we really didn't see him the rest of the year. So, I mean, you're really valuing him on what his potential is. So combined, I mean, Weah as well, I think he's a good utility player. I don't see him starting on our team. But he's a guy that could be useful at times. But at the end of the day, it's basically how much of these guys are going to play next season, and what's your plan after you sell them. If you got some guys coming in to replace them, then I'm good with it. But the dollars, it's a little low, but it's not a crazy low ball to me, to be honest.
Omer, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't like the price at all. That's a low ball offer if I ever seen one. I like Weah. I think he's useful for Juve. Had 5 goals this season as a utility player, as a sub, basically. I think we will need him in a long season ahead with all the matches, and he seemed to be pretty healthy most of the time. He didn't have any major injuries or anything.
Yeah.
And Bangula, 8 million is awful. Like, minimum 15 for me. Minimum.
Right.
I mean, if you look across like some of the leagues in Europe, the big leagues, names from the next gen are starting to pop up everywhere. So Juve are producing some sort of high quality talent, and they should price them as such. And I don't think 8 million for Mbangula, someone who played for Juve this season, at least for the first part of it, and he was good, and he came from a very good academy. I think we can ask for a lot more. I don't like panic buys or panic sales, and this seems like a panic sale.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't go through with that transfer.
For me, it's just silly. It's silly. I don't have a problem in saying goodbye to the guys. I'd like to keep Imbangula. I'd like to keep Weah, but I always said for me, it's probably come to a time where you got to say goodbye to one of McKennie or one of Weah. Yeah. If you're looking at guys and their main attribute is versatility or a utility guy, you don't need a team full of utility guys. So you've got a Swiss Army knife in Cambiasso. It looks like he's going to stay. You've got McKennie, that's a utility as well. How many damn utility guys do you need? It's time to start getting some masters out there. So you got to make a decision on one of Weah or McKennie. So I'm fine with saying goodbye to Weah. Imbangula, I'd rather keep. But I always said, if you're going to sell somebody, it's got to make sense on the price. 8 million for Imbangula? That's stupid. It's just stupid.
It's a joke.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
For reference, okay, Cagliari is probably set to pick up and make permanent Piccoli from Atalanta at 12 million. Fiorentina wants to then purchase Piccoli off of Cagliari there. 30 million euros. They've priced Piccoli. Do some of you even know who the hell this guy is? 30 million euros. It's a terrible price for Imbangula at 8 million euros. He started off red hot, but I have to disagree that he teetered off. His minutes teetered off. His performances did not teeter off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's a stupid price. Bottom line, I have no problem in saying goodbye to players. The prices have to match. And why on earth would you do any service or any favors to any Premier League club when the last place team makes more than the first place team in Italy? You want our players, you can pay up. Period. That's how I feel. I'm fine saying goodbyes, but it better amount to something that's right. Not just for the sake of. We just went over this with Giuntoli in getting the numbers right. The whole point of getting your books right now is that you're not forced to do anything. So we're not forced. So if you want both these guys, like for me, 23 million is fair for Weah alone. Imbangula should be a minimum of 20 million in my books. A minimum of 20 million. It's just silly. It's silly. So I don't understand this rush that they're getting into, because in theory, you shouldn't have to rush, especially if you're looking at the moves that we are looking at going, which one is Jadon Sancho at 25 million euros. You don't need to rush these sales to pick up a player on 25 million euros. And the other one being David, of course, and we'll look at both of these. Jadon Sancho, we'll start at Omer's side now, because a lot are enticed by the price of 25 million. We're hearing that the salary, obviously Fenerbahce had a huge 12 million wage offered up to him. Juve significantly less. It's being reported somewhere around 5.5 million. If he wants to come to Juve, that's as high as we're going to go. Does the price entice you? Do you want Sancho? Are you a hell no against Sancho? Where do you stand on Sancho, Omer?
It doesn't make sense to me, because you're haggling over the price of Chico, who is basically the exact same role. Then you have Nico Gonzalez as well in the team. I don't get why we need a third right winger, and that's his best position. I get that he had two great stints at Dortmund. It didn't work out so much at Chelsea and United. And it just doesn't seem like we need him. I mean, the price is relatively low for someone with as big as hype as he has. But I just don't see the need for it. To me, it's money down the drain. If you win, like Matt says here, 25 million for him, then pay the 30 for Chico and be done with it. Someone you know who can do well at Juve. And in general, I think he'll find it hard in Italy. Yeah. I don't think I think he'll have the same case as Douglas Luiz. He just wouldn't find the spaces that he used to show his talent and whatever. So I don't get it. I don't like that transfer.
Mas, how do you feel about the Sancho potential move?
Yeah, I agree with Omer. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's an area of need for us, unless, we're prepping for a Chico exit and Sancho would be the replacement. And in that case, I'd prefer Chico over Sancho any day of the week. So I don't know. He seems like a player that's bounced around a bit. It doesn't get any easier when you come to Serie A. We've had a lot of EPL players come over to Italy and struggle. I mean, the potential was there with this kid. I mean, him and Bellingham were, neck and neck for, one of the best young players in the world at the time. When they were coming up, and he's kind of trailed off. So I don't know. I mean, if Chico's gone, it's not a bad fallback option, but to add him in addition to Chico, it seems sort of it doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of other needs in the team that need to be filled over another winger.
There you go. And Luca, Sancho.
I mean, I think everyone's in agreement here. The guys have said it perfectly. I'm just going to summarize exactly that. Like, I wouldn't even take him if he was on a free. Like George said it in the chat. There's nothing that excites me about him anymore. maybe 4 years ago, maybe, but
Yeah.
no. Don't. I'm so against it. Not a move I like at all.
Tuna's got an interesting view on him. Doesn't think he's going to suit Tudor. He says he's by far the least Tudor type player we've been rumored to pick up. He will provide minimal pressing, low effort, and inconsistent output. For the flip side, Forza Juve says, I'm a big Sancho guy. I feel like getting out of England will do him good. His main problem playing in England is the high tempo. Getting into a slower league, I'd say he would absolutely cook. That's an interesting way to look at it. I've got a poll running right now in the chat, and 77% out of the votes are a no to Sancho. For me, I just really think like when you're looking at this group of players and how young, our average age of 24.6, 24.7, somewhere in there, I just think characters are going to go a long way. And you're nickel and diming on Chico right now, which I don't really understand. And then you're willing to spend 5 million less and just go instantly for a guy like Sancho that hasn't really impressed since the Dortmund days. And I get it. Even with Chelsea, I mean, like, I don't see this crazy rush to go out there and pick this guy up. I think character's going to go a long way. And with Chico, you know, they're saying it's not going to affect that or whatnot, but it quite possibly could if they pick this guy up and they can't get a lower price on Porto. And this whole thing is ridiculous. It's a 30 million euro release clause. For God's sakes, you have a team trying to buy Piccoli at 30 million euros and you're nickel and diming for Chico. Just get that done. But for Sancho, I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling this move. I think there's...
It just feels like a luxury move, and it doesn't seem too luxurious.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have 25 million just to throw on the third guy to the position.
The price being 25 million and everything, like, if you're going back to your, you know, Dortmund days, you're like, okay, yeah, 25 mil for this guy, but you're not getting the same guy is my concern. There's an element of risk there to this move. I just don't know about it. Hey, we're pushing for a striker. It's Jonathan David. And now all of a sudden he's really picking up 6 million in wages, 1 to 2 in bonuses. Apparently are all good to go. Everything but the agent's fee. 15 million euros. And it's being reported that he will not budge. Well, his agents will not budge. I've got some really distinct thoughts on this one, okay? But Luca, Jonathan David, just as a player, before we talk about the business side of things, how do you feel if we lock this one down and he comes in and he's the guy? As the plan, according to the reports, is you land Jonathan David and then you retain Kolo Muani, and those are the two guys. How do you feel about the Kolo Muani, David being the two guys, main men?
I kind of like it. I mean, it's refreshing. You've been really, beating the drum on Jonathan David for a while now, and I can't say that I've watched him play much, let's say, on his domestic side. I've seen him internationally a little bit, but I mean, I'm all for it. It's not it's on a free, so although his salary is a little bit up there, it's still less than what we're paying Duzan at the moment. So you know what? With him and Kolo, I think Kolo obviously, I think he's going to have a good season ahead if he sticks around, considering the form he's in right now and how he ended off the year. Like, he had his streaky moments, but once he really started picking it up with Tudor, he's got this weird chemistry going on now and with the guys, and I think it's working beautifully for us. So for me, those two as our strikers next season sounds absolutely great.
Yeah. And contrary to Severino, when you say Chiesa 3 times, he appears. When you say Jonathan David 3 times, Trimboli appears here. So mark my words, wherever David sides, he will fire his agent. We got Trim in here now, so that's all you got to do. Mas, what do you think about Jonathan David?
Yeah, I mean, from a talent perspective, it's always been there, right? He's proven that he can score in France. He's proven that he can score in Europe. Um, of the multiple strikers we've been linked to, this was my favorite option just because it is a free transfer and we'd have some money to play with afterwards. I don't know the way I've been seeing Colo play, linking up with Thuram and Yildiz. I mean, it's just we go so up and down with this guy, right? There's weeks where we're like we got to keep this guy, and there's other weeks where we're like I don't know, right? The way he's cooking now, I mean, I'd be perfectly fine to have David and Colo as our two strikers, and I think that would definitely be an upgrade to what we were putting out there this season. Um, so if it happens, it happens, but it's silly season, so stranger things have happened, right?
Omer, Jonathan David, thoughts?
Just based on his playing ability, I think he's a great player. He could be really useful for Juve. I think that the French league is kind of similar in physicality and stuff to Serie A, so I wouldn't find the transition too hard for him. But I mean, the agents, I feel like he's being used by them
Yeah.
to just squeeze out more money. I will be shocked
Yeah.
if he doesn't fire them the minute he signs. And I think that we have the upper hand in these negotiations because apparently he doesn't have too many, luxurious offers. Most of them what were from Turkey and such. Like it's not like Chelsea or Arsenal approached and he's dealing with them. So yeah, if you don't want to lower your price to be here, then just don't be here. That's my feeling. And they already did lower it. They wanted 25. Now it's rumored 15. But I don't feel like he's a must to say, yeah, go spend that, pay that to his agents, swallow that pill and move on. I think there are still options out there, and you were strapped for cash. So yeah, gotta make a choice eventually.
I think like first I'm gonna just speak to this agent thing because if it were me, I'd say no problem. You guys are fired, and I'd go sign the deal because this is an absolute shit show and a joke. And some of the concerns around him as a player have been why has nobody else gotten him? I think we're starting to see the answer as to why some teams have maybe gone a different route is because of the agent. If this is what they're doing, it's absolutely stupid. And these agents are, if you don't have the right one, it could be a huge difference in your trajectory or what happens to you in your career. We've seen Paulo Dybala with some of the worst representation I've ever seen, laughable representation. You've seen a lot of players with awful, awful representation. And Jonathan David might be one of them because they're trying to use this as their big payday as well. And to say that you're not budging at 15, whatever, from the previous discussions of being over 20 for signing fees, it's like, who the hell do these guys think they are? But here's the thing. When it comes to him as a player, I've said for a while, I'd be fine when it was like Jokeres, Retegi, or David. I said, give me one of those three, and I'll be absolutely fine. Get a lot of questions around Jonathan David. And yes, I'm Canadian, okay? I'd love to see a Canadian for the first time join the men's national side. But that's not why I'm into seeing Jonathan David be signed by Juve. If I look at this guy as a player, he's got versatility to play standalone up top and lead the line. He can also play in tandem, as he does for our national side, next to another striker. He is physical enough to deal with the battles on his own at the top. He is versatile enough to get involved in the build-up and actually drop back. He can create on his own. He is not so service dependent as a player. And that's why I think he can actually do very well for Tudor, because he'll offer Tudor an opportunity to play with both Kolo Muani and David up top and strengthen your midfield a bit if you don't want to just have two midfielders in a particular lineup against a particular opponent. He actually helps you out a lot. For all of these reasons, I'd be happy with David. I'd be happy with one of Gyökeres, Ritegi, or Jonathan David. The difference is you go and get one of those other guys, and you're probably pretty skinny to make a couple other boosts on the team, and you definitely have to pull in a center back if you're Juventus, in my opinion. Those are my thoughts on David, and that's why I'm into it. Mas?
Yeah, the other thing about the striker market, I mean, people are saying, why isn't he signed yet? Why aren't other teams signing him? I think it's going to be a case of once the first shoe drops, it's going to be a crazy roulette that happens, right?
Yeah.
So I think all the teams across Europe are kind of just waiting for that first team to sign that one striker, and then you're going to see a bunch of them come off the board. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
We'll see how it plays out. He's a good mix across the board. How is his aerial attack? Probably not going to be up there with some of the other guys, but it's decent. It's okay enough. But the versatility in the play, I mean, usually for us, we got to get Bremer back in the mix there. And then Gatti's playing, like, you get your big boys in there. I need to see Thuram get a little bit more firm in those frickin' corners and stuff like that. All your big tall players need to step it up in that. But Jonathan David, I'm okay with that signing. Reminder, everybody, crossed the 100 mark here on this live. We tried to do a live in Philadelphia. The damn Wi-Fi was so brutal. We couldn't make it work. It sucked. But we're happy to be back. Drop a like. Take a second, like the video, okay? And now, Leoni. We got news around Leoni. Juve's re-entered the race. He's back on the table. But apparently Juve is willing to sign him and keep him at Parma.
Yeah, I don't get that.
It makes no sense to us. You need to sign somebody. You need them to come in. And meanwhile, the whole Rugani thing, this guy hasn't had a sniff of game time through the Club World Cup so far, and it starts to sound like he is going to be on his way again. And there are some Italian clubs. Bologna's one of them. There's 3. Can't remember the other 2, but he's got some interest. I don't think Rugani's going to stay again this year. He's on his final contract year. I think they're going to end up moving him. So for Leoni, it's simple for me. If you sign him, it's silly to keep him on loan somewhere. And with Milan and Inter interested, any one of our 3 teams that offers him joining the first team squad is who I think he's going to choose. I don't think he's going to choose us and stay at Parma. But I want him signed, and I would bring him in immediately. Luca, would you bring in Leoni immediately? Do you want this signing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still baffled that we would leave him there. Like, I mean, unless someone somewhere must think he's not ready. I totally disagree. I mean, we've seen that we need to take chances on youth much more, especially in Italy, where like that's never done. We need to take those chances. We need to integrate this kid into our squad and amongst our players as quick as possible, even if he's not a starter. I don't expect him to be a starter, But if, like you said, if Rugani is gone, or God forbid we get rid of Savona too, bring this kid in. Get him integrated. Get him at least sitting on the bench next to Bremer. Get him talking and training with these guys. We need to instill, that mentality into them as quick as possible. If he stays at Parma, I'm sorry, but Parma's not going to be, any impressive nature this season. They're not going to be contending anywhere where they should be. So he might not even get the minutes he needs, or even the time he needs there to grow more.
We spent a year struggling for depth, and it's like, no, if you sign somebody, bring them in.
Bring them in, exactly.
What do you think about letting Rugani go?
Oh, people are going to hate me for this. I've been okay with letting him go for like 5 years now. I'm surprised he's still in our books. I got nothing against him as a player. You know what? He's been useful when we needed him. But like, why is he still around? We let so many other guys go without even blinking. Meanwhile, Rugani is still on the pay sheet somewhere. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, it's time for him to move on. Yeah. And especially, I just remembered, like, we still have I'm blanking out his name, the Colombian defender, left back.
Cabal.
Yeah, we still have Cabal, who's coming back too, guys. So like, we're gonna have options back there. Get rid of
Yeah.
Rugani. We don't need him anymore. Ciao, bye.
All right, take it easy, Luca. You're going overboard now. Mas,
I'm good.
what do you think about Leoni? Keep him on loan, get the sign, and your thoughts on Rugani?
I don't know. I gotta disagree with Luca, to be honest. I think if you're to bring him in just to have him sit on the bench, I get he'll learn from like the atmosphere and stuff like this, but the kid needs to be playing. I mean, he needs the minutes. You saw what happened with Adzic this year. He just warmed the bench all season long. Obviously not helping his development in any way. If Juve believes he's not ready to be a starter yet and he's not going to get solid minutes, I'd rather the kid be playing, sign him, and keep him at Parma for another season until he's ready. I just don't want to see him waste away on the bench.
My rebuttal there is, who keeps him off the lineup sheet?
Well, it also depends on what we're doing at center back, right?
Yeah,
Like, he may
because-
not be starting, but he's going to get a healthy amount of minutes. Like, Kelly isn't keeping him off the starting list.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, and if
because
that's the case, then that's fine. As long as the kid's playing some, I don't want to say significant minutes, but
I'd say Gatti may not even keep him off the starting list.
ooh, touchy.
I don't think he would. I think the way he handled himself against the top guys while playing for Parma, I think this kid could walk in and play in your back three next to Bremer, no problem. And then you have a decision of Kalulu or Gatti. That's me, personally.
I'm all for it.
Omer, what do you think on Leoni?
I think he's a decent player. I think the move of I don't mind. Okay, I'm more on Mass side here. I don't mind keeping him at Parma for another season. I think the reason for it is to actually start talks with Parma and beat out the competition, because they don't offer the same thing. They want him immediately, and Juve can maybe offer less money than the others, but do guarantee him. I do agree that to like an 18, 20-year-old, it's important to play every week. That's why I don't mind keeping him at Parma. Again, we're done with, like, I don't want to call it patchwork, but we are looking forward. And I don't mind leaving him at Parma for one more season if it gets Juve a better deal and secures him before Milan or Inter can. That's where I stand. I think we'll still see, even if we sign him and loan him back, we'll still see another signing in defense. Rugani I would keep. I don't mind him being a rotational player. He's average, yeah. Someone said he's the definition of average. I agree. So are Lecce and Monza, and well, those guys got relegated. But he can still fill a good role against the lower side teams. So yeah, I don't mind that deal, to be honest.
Yeah, I think everyone's got to remember that because the comments are pretty consistent. It's a good strategy since Inter and Milan seem to be ahead of us. I don't think anybody's really ahead. I think like this kid knows who's all interested, and here's the big kicker here: in the world of football, the players have the power. It's going to be up to Leoni. It won't matter what Parma prefers. Because if Parma prefers to keep him on a loan, that's great. But if the kid wants to go to one of the teams, he says, I don't want that deal. And then we don't get him anyways. It's going to come down to the player's will. So I don't know how big he's going to be on that if the other two clubs want him immediately and offer him some type of role, whether it be even rotational and not necessarily starting 11. We have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting to follow, though. I really would like to see us sign, especially like an Italian player, one that seems to be there at a starting 11 level in the back line. I think we need to start plucking some of these talents again. The Italians, especially the few that are ready to go, while you're in a drought of Italian talent in general. You know, Ricci was another one that seems to be close to a move now that I said, why are we talking about Ederson at 60, 50 million euros? I'd probably look at a guy like Ricci. But again, we wait and see. We wait and see. Akira, great to meet you in Philly. Love from Toronto. It was great meeting everyone that reached out to us. Man, the AJC, we got so much love, Mass. It was crazy. Awesome to see. And all we could say is thank you. You guys made it extra special. So a lot of love for the AJC. We had some fun too. Had some giveaways. Xfinity Live. I will say this about Philly. Hell of a setup. Hell of a setup they have at that sporting district, okay? Now, this is where we're at on moves. We're just waiting. This center back thing, I don't know how it's going to play out. For Rugani, my thoughts are you got a guy that's happy to be, what, 5th, 6th in rotation. Kamoli's going to try to correct the injury thing. He's, I think, banished everyone from J Medical. The building itself, I think, is simply cursed, and I would just say burn it down and outsource everything.
Burn it down.
But injuries do happen. His salary just doesn't reflect a guy that is 5th or 6th in rotation, and that kind of sucks. But again, you're in the final year. If you can get a healthy deal, you can maybe consider it, but I don't see it happening. So I think a guy that's happy to stick around there might stay. But here's the thing. Somebody might have to go. Say you sign Leoni.
Kelly.
You've got Savona, Kalulu, Bremer, Gatti, Cabal's coming back. Like,
Kelly.
Gonzalez.
You're
Yeah,
loaded. Facundo Gonzalez, we got to find a situation. Like, you've got so many bodies. So Facundo Gonzalez, I think we're probably going to end up seeing him go out on loan. I'd like to see it in Serie A. That's where the loan should be. Kelly, I don't think they're going to find a deal, personally, at the numbers that they're going to need. Ideally, find Facundo Gonzalez alone, sell Lloyd Kelly, keep Rugani, bring in Leoni, and off we go. That's for me. That's a road I would go. Because I don't think you're going to find... I'd be happy with Leoni anyways, and it's a steal of a deal around the numbers we're talking about. But otherwise, going big on a defender, who the hell's out there at big prices? We're not going to do that. So that's what I would do. But we'll see. Right now, we got Man City today. Battle to top the group. How are we feeling about this game? I'll tell you what. I was feeling a certain way till I saw our lineup. Then it made me question if we're really going for it. We're really going for it. But let's go through this here real quick here. So this is City's projected. We'll see if they actually come out with this anyways. But Ederson, Kusanova, Kanji, Ake, Variol, Tijiri Rangers, their latest signing, Savinho, Silva, Foden, Doku, Haaland. Holy smokes, the house. I don't think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see a couple of changes in there and whatnot, but this will be pretty damn close. Pretty damn close for City. Now, Juve.
Show our back line.
So
Nice.
That's a winning team right there.
Okay.
I can't get over how bad it is.
I'm going to tell you this right now, though. Like, Savona actually looks way better in a back three, like playing as a center back. I'm still nervous about the back three, like there. Kalulu has got his moments at the back there, but he, as a right center back, that's probably the right spot. As a back two center back, no chance. We'll see, but Savona, I will say, even against Wydad, was solid there in the heart. When Gatti came on against Wydad, I said keep Savona in the center because he was just on it and he played such a clean game. I like Savona. I don't have a problem there. I don't have a problem with Kalulu. Chiellini's going to be on one today, I think. Alberto, come on. Locatelli, great. Thuram, great. Kostic.
What are we doing?
Coat Miners and Nico.
What year is it?
Coat Miners and
Can you go back in
Nico.
time?
Vlahovic to start.
Oh, fuck. I think Tudor is testing us.
It doesn't look like we're going for top spot. But you guys like Omer? What do you think?
I'm on the other side of the fence. I get exactly why Tudor is doing it, and I think City will do the same. Um, Look at okay, both teams have already qualified, so the only thing in the balance is where you finish, first or second, and the money, like 1 point something million. This is the only game both teams can actually use subs. I know a lot of people look at it as a friendly tournament, but it isn't a friendly tournament. Not by the way the other teams approach the match, not because you get 5 substitutions. So this is the chance to actually rest guys before the matches that really matter. Now, if we finish second, unfortunately, it depends on the later matches of Real Madrid versus Salzburg. But I do believe Real are going to win. Now, the other side of the bracket, if we do qualify after the round of 16, then we have either Monterrey or Dortmund, which seems a bit easier. I want to progress the furthest. So, on one hand, you got to get the guys into a bit of shape. There's not a lot to lose here for me. And they are playing every 3 days. I mean, the guys that have played, we started the exact same formation twice. And we saw that the rusty guys are severely rusty and we can't count on them when it matters. So I would have done the same. I would have started most of the subs, let them have a run in. Maybe they'll get it, maybe they won't. But there's not a lot to lose in this match for me to go all out and maybe risk the later matches. That's where I stand. I know you guys don't agree, but that's how I see it. I get exactly why he does it.
I'm gonna go a different route because first of all, it's a tournament mode. Whether he had opportunities against those other teams in the games that were in hand to get some of these guys minutes and get going and whatever. We're playing next game potentially in another 4 days. Your training has to be very smart and on point through tournaments like this. But I see it as chicken shit. I see it as chicken shit because I kind of see like he's backing off of a first actual real measuring stick scenario. Yeah. And that's the part that bothers me the most because I don't give a shit about pumping Alain, pumping Widad. Like, you should be doing that. But this represented a game that could mean a hell of a lot. And I see it as maybe a bit of nerves from Tudor in if it doesn't go his way. Now he can fall back on, oh, you know what? Well, we had a lot of regulars that we had to rest for the knockouts, etc. I'm sorry, man. You play every game to win. If you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. I'm okay with some changes. We didn't need to see the exact same thing 3 games in a row. That I will agree with you 100%. But, I mean, you got to get after this. And it's also, they're not playing for nothing. These aren't friendlies. Like, there is money on the line to set yourself up better in the next knockout round. To go that extra step further means a significant payout, means much more in terms of finances too. So I just think it's a little chicken shit to me because now we can't even look at this as a true measuring stick with the lineup that he's put out there. So that's the part that bothers me. Mas, what do you think? And then we'll get Luca's thoughts as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. I mean, you're changing your full front 3. It's crazy. It's especially the way your guys have been playing, the way Yildiz, Chico, Cola have been playing. I mean, we're approaching it the wrong way. I think 5 changes in the starting lineup going to this game with the potential to play Real if we lose. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's thinking, to be honest. Like Omar said, I mean, maybe he's not taking it as seriously as he should be, and he's kind of just going to roll the dice for next round and see who we end up with. But I don't know. You had something going those first 2 games. I get that the competition wasn't great, but watching them play live, there was just something there. They were clicking, right?
Yeah. I just think it's a shame. I think it's a shame you're missing out an opportunity to see where we'd stack up because let's be honest, Man City can rotate 4 guys it's still going to be a strong team you're playing against, right? For us, we don't have that luxury. Luca, what do you think about it? Now that you've heard everybody's stance.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn because I was on your side, but Omer brings up kind of a good point, and I'm not disagreeing with anyone here. I'm kind of agreeing almost with everyone in the sense that I see why he rotated, but I also don't get why he's doing it now. He had chances before. I don't know. I guess time will tell. For all we know, we always see these crappy lineups, and sometimes they pull a rabbit out of their ass. So maybe something might happen. But I'm leaning towards what you said, Bert, in the sense that this is a measuring stick. You know, like this is a real chance to really see how we could shape up against, a top contender. So I'm not really excited about seeing that lineup. That said, who knows what we're gonna see.
I will say this too. The style of match that this is set to be, like, how it's you're not going to dominate possession on City. These players, the changes that have been made would suit more of that style. There's a lot of guys in that lineup I wouldn't put in a counter-attacking game. Like Vlahovic on a counter-attacking game for me. I mean, he's going to have to retain the ball very, very well. Kostic on a counter-attacking game, I mean, maybe. But over Cambiaso, with the versatility, it just doesn't make any sense there either. Nico Gonzalez, okay. Coat Miners, you got Yildiz sitting back. You're going to play a counter-attacking game, and Yildiz isn't in there from the start. Okay, you want to rest him. That's great. One of Chico or Yildiz got to be starting this game for creation, for the sake of creation, in any style you want to play the game. But again, let's see. Let's see how it plays out.
Let's try the optimistic way. What if he does win this match with this lineup?
Yeah, that's the thing. If he does, this reminds me a bit of like Allegri when he used to throw out like those crappy
I'll show
lineups.
up tomorrow at the post match and I'll eat this bastard right here, okay? If it gets done.
Okay.
I'll
okay.
eat it.
Wrote it down.
Omar,
Down.
Yeah, you heard him. Fork and knife.
You gotta eat a hat.
Fork and knife. Well, it's not a Snickers bar. Take it easy.
No, you eat it like a burrito. You shove it all in your face and chew it for 2 hours. That's what I want to see.
All right. Well, on that note, with how the game's going to play out, I mean, yeah, we know it's going to be about like the flanks are going to be crucial. City likes to overload on the flanks, try to stretch out midfields. We're playing with two midfielders, so they're going to try to stretch that out and then obviously hit switches and take advantage of that space. The flank play is going to be crucial. So Alberto is going to be tested. Kostic is going to be tested. It's going to be interesting. Now, it's time for the predictions. We've gone through that, gone through the game, how it could go. Time to put our money where our mouth is. And Luca, since you were Switzerland through the whole lineup discussion, you're going to start the predictions off, and we're going to see where you're at.
Shit. Shit. Oh, man. It's a tournament, right? So you can't have a draw. Oh, shit. I say...
Why? You can have a draw.
Well, yeah, you can have it in group stage.
Oh, in regular...
Even though they're battling for top. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'll go with the draw then. I think it goes 2-2.
2-2. What do you want for your tiebreakers?
I think we won't see a yellow card until after the 70th minute.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's.
Wow.
I mean,
they were actually pretty easy on the trigger though with the yellow cards in this tournament.
The official at the Wydad game sucked. Yeah. He was terrible, terrible official. Holy smokes!
They've been holding him back, so that's my
even versus Alain. Like McKennie had a yellow card after 2 minutes or something.
And we had a PK. Happy. We had a PK as well against Wydad too. That didn't get called. There was 2 questionable ones. One should have been called for sure. But Mas, your prediction, final score, tiebreakers.
Listen, if we're putting that lineup out, I'm very, very worried. So if that is the lineup, I don't think we're going to win this game. I could see like a 1 or a 2-0 loss. If the lineup is different, I can probably see like a 1-1 tie. I think both teams are going to play it safe, but the talent that City has,
Yeah.
they're dangerous, right? That speed in their midfield scares me. The players that they can bring off the bench, like Rodgers, probably going to be their first sub off the bench, right? A Ballon d'Or winner. So I know he's coming back from injury, but so yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
All right. So you're going 2-0 if it's the same lineup. So there's an asterisk there. Omer, prediction time.
This seems like a draw for me. I think 1-1 and that's it. Yeah, a draw. Benefits both teams.
Oh boy, join the dark side.
Yeah.
Oh my
By
God.
the way, it might be Tudor is testing out those guys against City to see if there's anything to work with, because the other guys from the other lineup are 100% staying. Maybe you want to see if there's any reason to keep any of those guys or ship him out.
Might be onto
immediately.
something there.
Yeah. You know,
I will say I'd feel a lot better too if Gatti was starting in this situation, because Holland does seem to struggle with big physical center backs.
Yeah.
And that in the past. So, but that's not the case.
Punch him in the throat kind of thing, you know. Like,
My guess is it doesn't play. I think, and it doesn't start. I think Marmoush will start and Haaland will sit.
yeah, I would bet that too, probably.
yeah, I think there'll be some changes there on their side, but I still think they just have so much talent that I don't think without us playing our best, I don't think it's gonna be an easy one. I think we're always behind the 8 ball there, but I'm gonna say if Albanese got it right and that's our lineup, I'm gonna go. I think they're scoring 2. Like I think they're putting up 2, and I think it would be. I'll go 2-2 draw just to be.
Wow.
Because I don't want to go against our boys. I don't want to go against them, so I'm gonna say 2-2. But I might let the wheel dictate what happens on the predictions here. But it's that lineup's crazy. Tudor's going wild in this one. I was very excited for a measuring stick moment, and I don't think you could take it as such anymore. But if he gets it done with these guys, hey, all the power to you. Okay, knife and fork tomorrow morning. This Golbo DNA hat down the hatch. Now storm the barn. Adam, why didn't Coney like Turin?
No,
because it got too cold in the winter. Oh, Adam.
Why do we still allow this? Why do we?
I'm actually not even going to give you a card for that one, man.
I love it.
That
was a good one.
I would give him a card for that.
There's of course the two fathers.
I'll tell you why. The great things about puns is that they are unexpected. And the minute he said Coney, I knew like the punchline.
Yeah.
No, man, that's not a card. Not a card there. That one's actually okay.
Okay. But keep trying, Adam. I really like it.
Look, no cards from the chat too at this point. Like that's the best one he's. It's not the best one he's done, but he's got no cards yet. It's actually very clever. I like it.
I'd give him a red just for that.
When did the agent become bigger than the player in these contract negotiations? David should be reminding his agent that the player is the one that makes these deals valuable, not the agent. I mean, I don't disagree with Tuna whatsoever. I think who your representation is massive, and it's a damn shame. But if you're Juve, you got to sign somebody. You need a striker coming in. So, and old Dusan Vlahovic, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen there? Because, he is not willing to do anything on his contract. Something's going to have to give. Like, you freeze him out?
Well, listen, if he's starting today and he actually has a good showing, it's actually a positive thing for us, right? You want to bring this guy's value up as much as you can.
Nobody's going to take that wage, though. The wage is like...
That's an insane wage.
He could bag a brace today. Nobody's going to take him on that wage, you know?
We messed up with that weight. Like,
oh, did we ever? my goodness, the wages, the contract was insane on the back end. Because the first few years, it was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Then all of a sudden, it just jumped like $6 million, and it was like, what?
The first 2-3 years, I think was it 2 years at like 8, and then it jumped to 12 or something?
Yeah, it jumped like 4 or 5 mil. It was like, what?
Insane.
Crazy. But they got to sort some out there, man.
So about the agents. And there are rules. I remember they were talking about it. The FIFA rules, I mean, there are some different rules when you move between continents. But the main rules from FIFA that are applicable since October 2023. 3% cap on agent commissions from player gross income. 3% cap from the buying club if only represented by the club, and 6% combined cap if the agent represents both the player and the buying club. So I don't know, 15 million doesn't fit in there. I mean, someone has to do something about it and have some restrictions to some degree on what they can ask. I mean, his agents are not Mino Raiola or Jorge Mendes, which I get. Okay, they are big names, they have the best players, and making them bring a player into your team, one of the top names, fine, I get it. But not every agent can do that, and the clubs shouldn't play ball. Yeah, David, if those are your agents and that's what they want, you may finish without a team, and that's the price you have to pay. And then let's see who signs with these agents.
Yeah. I think agents are scumbags. Bastards.
They are.
They're all scum. They're scum. It's hard to find good agents. Where's Jerry Maguire? There's an agent that cares. Not until he lost his gig, though. Maybe you got to get fired to be a good agent. Old Jerry Maguire. My worry from Adam is how cold it is in Turin. We know that. My worry is if we get David and Mwani, is that they feel like they have the same attributes, which in turn will give a tactical disadvantage if we need a more big boy striker. Maybe.
Well, we still have 2 big boy strikers in our team, Milik and Dusan, and we don't know if any of them are leaving.
Forgot about Milik.
Yeah, Milik doesn't really play like a big boy, though. Neither does Vlahovic, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, that's why, like, if you could actually find moves for these guys. I mean, with Milik, I'd take some gelato for, a month's worth of gelato at the best hut there. But, like, for Vlahovic, you gotta find a move there, man. And then, like, pick up Lorenzo Luca. There's your big boy as a rotational piece.
Probably going
devastating in the air. And then you have kind of everything covered. But I don't think it's critical. I don't think it's absolutely critical. But there are times I could see it. We are a little bit small up top. And sometimes you need a bit of size there. So I could see the concern there. But it wouldn't deter me from grabbing David, though, and like worrying about this David Mwani. You still got to have one more behind.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you got to find the big boys, right? So we'll see. Which are the likely teams that we could face if we finish first in the Club World Cup group or second place? Obviously,
so we either face Real or Salzburg. Depends on who wins between them tonight and finish top, and where we finish. So it's either one of those two. Then on one side we have Dortmund against Monterrey and Inter versus Flamengo.
Yeah.
So if Inter wins and we finish on that bracket, we can meet them in the quarterfinals. Same goes for Dortmund on the other side.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So Salzburg, Madrid, Oof. There you go. Omer, nailing it there. I think Weah is refusing to leave because he knows his close friend David is coming in. I just think, I'd like to think that, you don't want to go there as opposed to staying at Juve. I mean, there's definitely a shift for the good with Igor Tudor coming in. If we haven't seen all the things that I was nervous about very early on, it was late October when me and Lou started sounding the alarms on Malta and player treatment and stuff like that, and why the team is following suit. Did you guys see Sandro and Danilo turning back and showing?
That
The
hurt.
room
Exactly
blew
what
up,
we
man.
said.
They were loving it.
If
Yeah.
that didn't tell you how stupid the guys involved last year were in saying goodbye to Danilo, like, and what it did to the team and the players and stuff, like, it's silly. So there's good vibes right now, and I think there's good vibes here right now, and I think that's a big reason why. But obviously, him and David are
Bring him back.
friends. Weah and Jonathan David are close. Yeah, see.
Bring him back. I would take Danilo back for 2 more seasons easily.
You got to
Take
get
it
rid
easy.
of
We'll
Rugani,
take it
though.
easy there, but watch along today. Unfortunately, no watch along. We are shorthanded at work. We got the skeleton crew. Berto's putting in a shift. What's your number one target this summer of everyone we've been rumored to be targeting? So who, out of everyone we've been targeted with, the number one for you? Like, if you could handpick.
Ooh. Probably Leoni, honestly.
Leoni?
Yeah, like that's the first one that comes to mind. I don't know why.
Yeah. Wing of
'Cause
Winter said Leoni. George said Jokeres. Tonali's in there. Donnarumma.
Osimhen.
Really?
Osimhen's your number one of all. Okay. Mas, who's your number one of everyone rumored?
I mean, Omer's not wrong in terms of Osimhen. The only problem is you'd have to pay Napoli that cash, right? I think he's the most ready-made
Yeah.
Serie A striker. It would make the most sense, but I'm not ready to give 70 million to those dirtbags, to be honest. Yeah, I've said it before. I prefer a center back over a striker at this point. I think that's more of a need for us. So if Leoni's the top choice so far, it would probably be Leoni for me, just because I haven't heard any other links to any major center backs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Luca?
that's the issue. I would have gone with a center back, but there were just none, that we were linked with that were actually interesting, except for Leoni.
And Luca, you're sticking with Leoni?
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're saying, center back is probably the only thing I'd really want to nail, especially that he's young, and like you said before, Bert, the price is pretty damn good. So, yeah.
I'd probably say Jokeres, number one for me. Big statement signing. But I have fear there too. I have fear around
Any
all
big
the
signing.
targets at striker. Osimhen, Jokeres,
Hank?
David Retegui. But I'd probably go Jokeres as the number
Henko
one.
signed somewhere, right?
What's
No.
that?
Who?
Henko almost signed somewhere. I think he had a big offer from Saudi Arabia.
Question, actually.
How
boy.
possible a mercato of Leoni, Nuno Tavares, David is, plus Colo and Chico? I don't think we would need anything else. So, David, highly likely. Tavares, a possibility. And Leoni, I mean, that's not unthinkable since David is on a free, right? Tavares is 30. Leoni's around the same price tag. I mean, that's very doable. Very doable. If you're talking about Chico and Colo with a loan at the beginning, again, makes it doable. But yeah, you're going to have to move some players. You're going to have to round some things out. With Chico, yeah, it's doable. That is very, very doable. But you're going to have to
No way.
you're going to have to get some sales. You're going to have to get more than 8 mil on Mbangula. I promise you that.
By the way, we didn't talk about the guy from Flamengo, Wesley.
Wait.
Yeah, so the rumors, I had to laugh at the rumor the other day. Di Marzio was very good around Juve for a good period of time here, about a year and a bit, and now he's gone back to his ways of just really being hit and miss. But he's claiming that Roma is Wesley's preferred destination, although today we hear again that Juve and Wesley are having talks and everything. I would like Wesley. I think it'd be a good signing.
Yeah,
What do you think? Oh,
I think Alberto is kind of solidifying himself as the right wing back, but he will need someone, to contest him and give him some rest. So yeah, Wesley seems like a good plan. He plays with Danilo, so he probably heard a lot of great things about Juve. Not so
Yeah.
much about Mota, probably. But yeah, I would absolutely go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wesley, I'm in. I'm in. Forza Juve. Inter have Bastoni. Buongiorno went to Napoli. And we failed to get Calafiori. For me, that makes Leoni a must. We're Juve. We need a world-class Italian center back. Sorry, Gatti. All right.
Well, we got one.
Yeah. I'm sending that to Gatti like right now. He's gonna come to your house and punch you in the face.
We got Bremer coming back. That's an upgrade already. He's our world-class center back.
Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bremer is better than all those discussed.
All of them. Yeah.
That's true though. 100%.
Bremer's better than all of them. I still say you go and sign Leoni.
For sure.
Yeah. We got to do that. Got to do that. But, yeah, Gatti.
I wouldn't call him world class.
Gatti's always going to be this battle in the chat, too, and I love it. I
It's
love
such a
it.
50-50 split. It's crazy.
I love it. It's just,
Oh.
you know, like for me, I really appreciate Gatti. But I will say that, you know, I'm happy to have Gatti in the team somewhere, and I'm okay to concede him being a rotational player. No problem with that.
Yeah.
But as far as Leoni and stuff like that, like it doesn't stop me 1 second from signing Leoni. And I think Leoni actually would play above Gatti if he joined this team this season. That's just me.
Gatti is weird. Like I still can't put my.
Well, with that haircut, yeah, he took it down too short. He's really.
Oh yeah,
weird.
he's going.
Damn.
He's going to join the Bold Club very soon.
Wow.
But I don't know. Sometimes it seems like exactly what we need. Sometimes he like dozes off for a few matches and he's very silent.
Yeah.
And I can't put my finger on him. I think he's still very inconsistent, which I expect to change this season and be a lot more consistent. Because obviously Juve are looking for center backs, and whoever's gonna shine, gonna play. And Gatti had his chances. Sometimes I like him. Sometimes he's infuriating.
He's a depth.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's all he is. It's to me, he's not a starting center back for Juve. He's good to have as depth. He's got some characteristics that a lot of our other defenders don't have, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just I don't think he's
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Right.
Now, why? So we got one coming in here. Malsi, instead of moving for another midfield, why not let Kelly play in the midfield? So I will tell you exactly why.
What do you mean? Why?
If you see him on the ball, okay, I play in the midfield, okay. This guy cannot handle the ball in any type of a capacity to be playing in the middle of the pitch. Period. So it's as simple as that. Just no.
That's a hard no.
It's a hard no.
Hard no.
Does anyone want to go to Philly with me next weekend? If you know, you know. All right. Justin was there in Philly. We had a great time.
Bring some of those cookies, Justin. We'll meet up.
The burgers. Holy, they didn't last very long. Those cookies are fantastic.
Wiped
Holy
out.
smokes. What do you think about Dusan Vlahovic if we have David and for the good of Vlahovic and Juve, we've got to find a move for him.
Yeah. You can't have someone like that salary just sitting bench behind. No.
No. It's just simple. Like, you've got to find a solution. It sucks, but like, we've frozen out guys that had, like, we froze out Mandzukic.
Yeah.
We froze out Higuain. Like, I wouldn't think twice to freeze out Vlahovic to get this guy to realize you gotta fucking go, man. We were talking about agents with Jonathan David, and now it's like your representation. It's like, dude, you're not going to land anywhere and you're about to get frozen out. Like, give up on this money. You're not worth this money. And you've already taken advantage of that for how many years? You're in the last year of it. Find a move. improve your career trajectory, or you're going to be known as the douchebag that took the money he's not worth and prevented a move to try and prove himself. It's like he's scared. It's like he's fearful and knows that he can't prove himself.
Yeah.
Step up and be a man. Have some balls. Because I know everybody's going to fight the fight and say, hey, Juve signed him to that. He's entitled to that. 1,000% he's entitled to it. But is it smart for his career to do this?
No, and I'll tell you why.
No.
Because right now he can negotiate with other clubs. Say, okay, not 10 million, I want 7 million. But if he finds himself without a club next summer, then no one has to pay him anything. They might tell him 5 max. So we've seen it happen with Dybala, I believe.
Yep.
It usually doesn't work out to the benefit of the players. So I don't think it will work out for Dusan as well, especially if he's like a third string striker now with Juve.
Yeah. His agent's not doing him any service through this right now. Like, if his best interest is to find a team that's got serious interest and work your wage down, not stick to 12. Like, buddy, you've already reaped the benefits of that long enough. Smarten up. How can a team like Nottingham disrespect the great Juve with a bid of 20? How can we consider it?
That's the thing. It's more us. It's not even them being. It's us, like actually thinking about it.
We don't even have to. Like, we don't even have to move these guys.
They don't draw the line. We do.
The people talking about this, the budget reasons, which has been thrown out there in media too. No, fuck that. In case everybody forgot, like, Elkan already stepped up with the 15 million to clean up the contract, like, discrepancies here and there to make this clean. We are operating from a clean standpoint and perspective right now.
Yep.
No. 23 million, 2 players? No. This isn't Donnie's 2-for-1 pizza, buddy. Like, no. 23 million for 2 players? No. See you later. Bye.
No, we got to draw the line. There's a reason why Atalanta are not getting lowballed for their players and don't get a lot of offers in general, because teams know that they'll ask for a lot more than what they're willing to pay. Yeah. Juve should draw that line and say just absolutely not. If you want him, that's the price we're asking for, and start, getting teams familiarized with what you are asking for their players.
Yeah. And this one for the ones in the stadium. Which players surprised you the most in the game you watched against Wydad? Mas, who surprised you the most?
I mean, listen, Yildiz wasn't surprising because I knew the kid was talented, but guys, to see him play live is an absolute treat, man. Like, he is the real deal. No doubt about it. It's unbelievable what this guy can do with the ball, the quickness, his pace, his dribbling. It's just unreal. I
don't think the quick feet and the turns and the pivots and stuff, like the sidestepping, I don't think it comes through on television. Just how friggin' quick that kid is. Yeah. It's insane. But Chico's relentlessness came through. Like, it was intense watching there, like, because he did not stop for a second, and it was just, he just go on every single ball, pressuring everything. Those two were a treat to watch. But Yildiz definitely, like, he was a cut above. I will say, surprised, Savona. Savona surprised me at how clean a game he put in at the heart of the back three there against Wydad. Because they were quick. Like, I'll give Wydad, like, on the counters and stuff, they were quick and coming at us, but those three were an absolute pleasure to watch, for sure.
Alberto too was
really, I thought he had a quieter game.
He was pretty. The left side was dominant with Thuram, Cambiaso, and Colo. They were showing a lot of good chemistry. McKennie was dead for us against Wydad. He did nothing, and it hurt the right side. That's why you didn't see. But Alberto, in the one opportunity, when he just took it from the right and he cut in and he had a shot, he just didn't get it right, and it still kind of hopped by that back post. He's got some chops too. For sure. When are the lives next week? We're going to do the lives around these matches at Club World Cup. So pre-match, post-match, same, and then after, when we get into mercato, we'll go back to, on any breaking news, we could have a pop-up live. Otherwise, one kind of as a week wrap, okay? What do you think about Wesley? Well, we spoke to Wesley, Eric there, and we like the move. We like the move a lot, so I definitely pull the trigger on that one. Is this good? Di Gregorio, Araujo, Bremer, Kalulu, Cambiaso, Locatelli, Thuram, Sancho, Yildiz, Dybala, Gyökeres. Holy smokes.
What have you been...
I mean...
That's FC 25 stuff right there.
Is it good?
That's like FIFA.
Yeah, it is good. I just... Yeah, there's moves in there I don't think I'd do.
Araujo for 25-30 is not going to happen.
I'm a no on Sancho. Araujo used us for that contract, so you know what happens there. Dybala,
we have Yildiz. No.
Dybala is a luxury piece off the bench. He won't accept that, but that's the only way I signed Dybala. Just me. But is it good though? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
FIFA.
Yeah, when the Dybala news broke out, it was kind of obvious where the fans stand on it, because everyone was just super hyped. But I don't think it's the right move.
It was.
I just don't think it is. Yeah. I love Dybala. I absolutely love him.
It's not the right move.
I don't think it's
what we need. You can't come back. You can't come back.
The knockout games are going to be played on the East Coast. So I think, I know semifinals and finals are at MetLife, I believe, so New York. But yeah, everything's out east there. I think, I don't think Orlando gets the knockout games either. I thought Miami had a knockout game, but I could be wrong there. But I think New York's going to get like all of them. Name 3 players, not Juve players, that impressed you most during the Club World Cup competition.
I haven't watched anything, so.
What?
I've been enjoying this competition.
I've been enjoying this.
I actually really like the guy who scored against us. He was their only threat against Widad. I thought he was actually decent. He had a good game. He was running up and down the field all match long, and even had a clean finish against Di Gregorio. He was their main threat. I think he had the most shots on goal, these threatening ones. I was pretty impressed with him. The rest, I didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of matches.
I will say, Flamenco just as a team is awesome. But holy smokes, when we walked into Xfinity Live after that game, Flamenco, who did they play? They played Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah.
I was surprised because I thought walking into Philly, we would see a lot of Chelsea fans. It had to have been 10 to 12 to 1 in favor of Flamenco fans. It was insanity there. You couldn't walk in Xfinity Live. It was just a sea of red and black. Their fans were awesome, but watching the team play too, man, Flamenco is a fun team to watch. So I would say they caught me by surprise too. Solid team to watch.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this, Berto. Coming into the tournament, even I was a little skeptical about just the overall tournament, but being there, being part of the atmosphere, a lot of these smaller teams that you typically don't get to see against these big European teams, and the fan bases are relentless, man. The Widad fans. So Widad fans, we didn't even mention it, but how did they sneak those flares into the stadium? Are we allowed to say? Or
well, sure. So
not on live.
Yeah, probably not on live. Let's just say they came up with pretty interesting ways to sneak in those flares.
They confiscated 2 big dumpster bins of these things. We run into a guy after, and I think, Sev was so mad because they took his vape away. So he's like, "You guys took my vape away. These guys got flares over on the opposite end. They smoked out the stadium." So then we run into some Widad fans, and he goes, "Man," he's like, "how did you even get those in?" He goes, "Do you really want to know?" And Sev's like, "Well, maybe not." And he goes, "We just tuck them behind our balls." That's literally what he said. He goes, "We just tuck them behind our balls." and they walk right in. And when they do
Right
the
in.
pat, he goes, they just don't get him, right?
Makes sense.
And I was like, fair enough, because it's not a prison pat job. It's a security at a stadium pat job. So they're not.
Isn't that where they put? They're
They're not measuring Joey Tribbiani's pants here, right? Like they're just doing the quick pat down here in the stadium. Yeah, that's how they measure pants. They scoop and they move them to the
Yeah.
Tell them that's how they measure pants. In prison.
The flamenco fans cleared out the bar in our hotel. Like there was no booze left.
Oh
They
my
literally
God,
the next morning they
man.
had a delivery of booze coming in, of beer and stuff like that, because there was nothing left, man. So
That's disgusting.
but they're amazing. Just talking to them, being around them, like
They were
even if
awesome.
they lost the game, the Wydad fans, even after the loss, they were great, man. They were happy to be there. That walk up towards the stadium by Wydad, I don't know if we posted a video anywhere, but
it's going to be in our little compilation short there. But these guys are awesome. You don't get that in North America, like that actual vibe. Like they must have had 100-foot Moroccan flag marching through the street. The ground was rumbling, man. Like the glass in the restaurant was like shaking and stuff, and they're just
Incredible.
chanting away. And they got the flares lit, and they're walking through. I was like, that is what it's all about. I wanted more coordination on our side, but Jesus, they were lined up. That entire curva met up in the park, and I saw them on my drive up to Xfinity Live, and then they marched the entire way. The day before, or like a few days before, when they played their first game in Philly, the Wydad fans got lucky. They had both games in the same city. They marched from City Hall into the stadium. And if you check that out on a map, that is insanity. And it's hot as hell. It was hot as hell in Philly that weekend. And man,
Skanga wouldn't have made it halfway, is what you're telling me.
we walked a 20-minute walk. I thought Sev was going to keel over on the sidewalk there. Like we were a 20-minute walk from our hotel to Xfinity Live, and Sev is like, "I hate you, Berto," and I'm like, "Dude, I walk like
That's
this is good
That's
for you."
with his vape. Imagine if you took it away from him.
My God, man. I was looking for his inhaler. I thought like maybe he needs an inhaler or something. Yeah. Hypotheticals. How much money would you accept for Yildiz if he's ever for sale? This is a hypothetical. We're not saying sell the kid, but hypothetically. Omer.
120.
Right now, 120. Mas.
Wow.
Yeah, it starts at 100 and goes up. Nothing under 100.
Luca.
150.
175 million.
I mean, what do we
want him? 175 million for
that's
where he's
price
at
tag.
19, 20 years old. You want him now 175. Otherwise, there's the door. Don't let it hit you.
That price tag has one thing standing out. We don't want to sell this guy. That's what the price tag means.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when they renegotiate his contract if they put a release clause on there or not, right? And what's that number going to be?
Knowing us, they won't.
Well, he just said that he want to spend his entire career at Juve just yesterday.
I believe
basically. So I believe him. And
Swarit, I'm going to help you, my friend.
What the?
175 for putting up more in terms of production than Del Piero did in his debut season for Juventus.
Debut goals on every tournament he played in.
Everything debut champions.
2 goals against Torino. I mean, the guy shows up when it matters. So
he is 19,
and we absolutely
20 years old. He is phenomenal to watch. He is just a fun player to watch. I gotta say.
Even his mentality, like you watched him against that Venezia match, the last match of the season. He was barely standing at the end of the match. They had to pick him up off the grass, and that's a 20-year-old.
If you sell this guy, you have to be set, and that's why it needs to be a stupid amount of money. Because if you sell him, like you need to pick up a game breaker or a game changer, and that ain't gonna be cheap. We're not talking about Jadon Sancho, all right? Like that's the thing. You sell Yildiz, you need a game breaker, so you make
it's got to be similar to what we did with Zidane, right?
What do you think? And just for anybody fighting us or saying like that's crazy, like this money he's scoring against firm. What do you think this kid would be valued at if he was in the Prem right now?
Yeah.
150.
It would be this kind of number. Like, they would be, the hype around this kid is so little because of where he's at. Because Serie A is a joke. They don't know how to promote their key guys. They don't know how to stand behind their most successful team in Italy. They have no clue what they're doing. If this kid was in England, everybody, you wouldn't get clowns like Scholes tweeting out, "Who's this Yildiz kid?" after he schools Walker against it. Like, that wouldn't happen. And I'm just saying, like, these price tags aren't crazy. This kid was in the Prem. It's exactly what it'd be for anyone interested. We won't listen to anything less than 150, 170. That's what it would be. It's the way it is. PSG has bought players for like 180, like 200, like huge name guys. Like, that's what you do. If you want your top game breaker from a top club, that's what it is. We're just used to bending at the knee on sales, which is bullshit. We shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be doing that. Mm-hmm. Also, guys, Uncle Pat, Tio Pat was the guy for Philly. That guy was a beauty. He was amazing. He was a beauty.
Did you ask him the question?
Because he was so awesome, I refrained from saying, "Why did you not clear that fucking ball?"
Damn it!
Because he was such an absolute beauty. Now, there was some that were there, decide to take it to Twitter, and were like, "Oh, Berto's." Someone was like showing love or whatever, and they're like, "No, Berto's a jerk, man. He showed up in Philly, cut the line to meet Evra, whatever." And I go, "What? Cut what line? What line?" I said, "Did you see the wristbands?" Official fan club members had priority at the meet and greet. Nobody skipped lines. There was 2 lines. Yep. General admittance and official fan club members. People really need to know shit before they talk shit. Okay? But it's okay. Because all the haters do is make themselves look like idiots, and they just keep fueling this massive semi-truck that's steamrolling, which is the AJC. And in Philly, we were in full effect, and you guys were unbelievable. The Army was fantastic. Props to Cugino Eddie, who we finally got to meet. That man, I was saying the day before we met on the Friday night for a bit, and I said, man, I would have loved a cigar. Like, I could go for a cigar right now. The guy remembered, shows up Saturday, hands me a beautiful cigar, which I enjoyed. The man had me sitting there like Lippy in Xfinity Live. So, Cugino Eddie, you're an absolute beauty. We thank you. Victor, our friend Victor, who actually introduced himself to me by giving me a te at Xfinity Live, yelling, Berto, te. And I was like, whoa. All right. I respect it. We had Francesco and Brian out of Toronto that met up there. We had Giuseppe and his family that we met there, like so many. Andrew, who ended up sitting next to us with his daughter. Awesome time. You guys are fantastic. Can't thank you enough for all the love you guys showed me. But it was a great time. Can't wait to do it again.
You got a lot of screen time as well on TV.
Oh, like yeah, we did get on the game. Oh, my God. My phone died because it was just Instagram. It was Twitter. It was everything was just like, hey, we saw you. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I guess at the start of the game, they saw us, and then a few times throughout it. And Trim's out there, no sleeves, rocking the freaking AJC flag there. It was awesome. Sev is a character. Everybody's like, my dad messaged me. He's like, who are you next to? Who is this guy? Who is this guy with these tattoos? And
oh my God.
I was like, oh, that's Sev. Oh, Sev's a beauty. We were lucky to be able to enjoy the game together with Sev after those rocky steps, because I didn't think he was going to make it. The man said he blacked out almost for a second. So it's good. Good times. We wish we could have had the whole team. Maybe if the Azzurri qualify for the World Cup, hey, go Gattuso. We can meet up in North America again somewhere for the tournament. We'll see. As far as today goes.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath.
As far as today goes, hey, take care of business. Let's see. Maybe we get surprised. Maybe that lineup isn't in fact going to be what others. Giovanni Albanese. I think he's on vacation right now too, so he's not really locked into the team. He didn't come over. He's not in North America, so who knows? Let's just see. As far as will we get surprised today? I don't know. We got a lot of draws. I think that's because our heart just doesn't want us to go against the loss. But Mas, he didn't mince words. He said 2-0 loss if that's our lineup. So there you go. But let's see. Let's leave it up to the lads and see if they'll get the job done. No watch along, but post-match tomorrow. And hey, let's see what we talk about. Finishing first, finishing second. Who do we face in the knockouts? Let's see, everybody. Luca, Mas, Omer, absolute pleasure as always. Army, you guys are the best. Drop a like, and we hope to see you tomorrow morning for the live post-match coverage. Till then, as always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao tutti. Take care.